All right, let's move to this in the meantime. Former eThekwini Mayor Zandile Gumede's corruption and fraud trial resumes this morning at the KwaZulu-Natal High Court. It kicked off yesterday following quite a number of delays. The first witness is expected to take the stand today. Gumede and her 21 co-accused face a string of charges, including fraud and corruption relating to the awarding of a Durban solid waste tender worth over 300 million rand. So senior reporter eNCA's Dasen Thathiah is in Durban tracking these developments for us and joins us now to give us an update. Dasen, good morning to you, colleague. I suppose let's start with what's expected this morning in court.
Well, it seems like the trial is well underway now, and the expectation is that we should see the first of those witnesses. Now, remember, this is it's a fascinating case to start off with, because the state alleges that Zandile Gumede, the former eThekwini mayor, was at the head of a criminal enterprise that was running within the eThekwini municipality. I mean, that, if you look at the documents, the court documents in relation to this matter, it reads like a movie script. If you look at how monies were allegedly moved around, and all of this happening under the watch of Zandile Gumede, the chief accounting officer at the municipality, and others, senior members of the executive that were allegedly placing people in the right positions to make sure that that money, a total of about 320 million rand between the period of 2016 and 2019, was given to the right people, for the correct people in their view to benefit from. I want to unpack this a little bit further now with Melusi Kulu, who's a legal analyst. Mr. Kulu, at the face of it, as I said, this is fascinating to think about how something like this could have happened within the municipality. But that in itself also means that it's a difficult case for the state to prove, to say that at the head of all of this was the former mayor who was making sure that this money was dished out, so to speak, to her cronies.
Yeah, well, it's a huge allegation, because what they are saying is, as she was the mayor, she was also involved in what they are saying so as a criminal enterprise, so to speak. So they're basically saying that she and the people she was connected with, the senior people in the municipality, they were involved in making sure that the amounts of 320 million were paid to specific companies, 4 of them, which are mentioned, and there was kickbacks that were supposed to be paid back to them. So they have to prove, that there was this cycle of money being transferred around them and the people close to them, including her daughter. Of course, she's one of the accused, of the 22 accused in this case.
And they're saying that they have all sorts of records here. We're talking about bank statements, entry and exit logs, vehicle trackers. So according to the state, and it's outlined yesterday of what we can expect in the trial, they say that they have their ducks in a row.
Yes, they say they have witnesses who were former workers of the municipality who will be testifying. They also have documents, bank statements, cell phone records. But as we talked with you before this interview, even though they have those documents, they still have to have a proper way of submitting them to court based on law of evidence. So I think if the defense objects to those submission of evidences, it might prove to be difficult for the states. But we will see when it gets there if they would allow that, because if I'm not mistaken, the prosecutor did mention that they might object to those documents being submitted, because once those documents are submitted and they are submitted properly without any questions, it might prove to be difficult for the defense. So those documents will be important if they will be submitted or not.
Let's come back to Zandile Gumede for a second here. So with her allegedly being at the head of all of this, she wasn't, in theory, she wasn't really physically involved. She wasn't going around to people and, collecting money, so to speak. So her benefit, which we see, is just shy of 3 million rand in total from all of this. But it was Mondli Mthembu who was seen to be the executive manager of that enterprise. So is Zandile Gumede's team going to have some room to say, look, she wasn't actually involved here, how are we going to prove this?
Yes, look, one of the charges is conspiracy to commit corruption. So we all know that when a conspiracy is committed, it needs to involve people. We need to see that they were involved and they were of the same mind. So how will she fit in allegedly is that it must be proven that she was having a conversation with these heads of departments of DSW and so forth. So if they can prove that, then that will be positive. But as you said, she's the head. She was mayor. So they have to prove that she was also accountable in these departments, because she was not head of those departments, but she was the mayor of eThekwini municipality.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kulu, unpacking some of what we can expect in the court case in the days to come. So it's set down for about the next 2 weeks or so. 112 witnesses expected at least, and we should see the first of them taking the stand today, Tabella.